Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Sunday Live. How is everybody doing today? I have felt a wonderful shift in energy over the last 24 hours. I'm feeling a bit of release, and I got some pretty incredible updates. If you're new to the channel, I am an ET contactee and clairvoyant psychic. So today I'm going to be tuning in. Well, I had a big contact session yesterday, a couple pages of notes I'm going to be sharing with you guys. I tuned into some planetary changes as well as Three Eye Atlas and Swan, which is another comet-like craft that is in our solar system currently. And I've been doing a lot of coverage on this. There's a lot of different galactic beings involved in this. And Three Eye Atlas has been serving as, well, Third Eye Atlas, a major catalyst for awakening, DNA activation, as well as a disclosure initiative. It's been tuning our solar system like a tuning fork and helping to dissolve the veil and bring in these ascension codes and DNA activations. And Swan, previously, whenever I tuned into it, felt a bit more military-like. It felt like the protector. Now, right now, Swan and Three Eye Atlas are on each side of the planet. They're literally surrounding Earth right now. This is not an invasion. You're seeing some people posting, is this an invasion? It's really quite interesting. No, it's not an invasion. So they're coming in like a pincer move, a strategic pincer move surrounding the planet on each side, almost directly parallel to each other, which is really interesting, on the same plane. And when I saw this, I got pinged and knew that this was very significant. So I tuned into that. I tuned into what's going on with the planet. And we've got some really fascinating changes. So I'm going to go ahead and share this contact session with you guys and share these updates with you. Oh, real quick before we get started on that, I also want to share I've got 17% off for Black Friday sale that's going until December 2nd. That will be on all of my workshops, activations, sessions, everything, the DNA activation kits. And I am also announcing, which I'll go into more detail after I share the updates, but I'm scheduling a Three Eye Atlas winter solstice activation December 19th, which is when Three Eye Atlas will be closest to Earth. And it's also in the winter solstice window. So it will be a really potent event. So you can get that live activation on my website, link in the video description. And I'm also announcing a 6-week Starseed BOOTCAMP Making Contact Mentorship starting in January. Thank you, Victor, for sharing that. And all of the links are in the video description. So I'll share more details on that, but I just wanted to shout that out. Okay. So this was information from kind of a clairvoyant psychic tap-in, as well as tuning into the Earth, kind of a remote viewing, as well as speaking with my galactic contacts. So the pincer move that Three Eye Atlas and Swan are doing, they're calling it, the galactics are calling it, it's actually a very delicate procedure that is occurring right now. Now I'm going to get more into that in a moment. And yes, the Starseed Bootcamp is an incredible mentorship. You'll get to work more one-on-one with me in a very small group setting where I teach you all sorts of protocols. Very transformative. Okay, getting back to the psychic updates. So the Earth grid is moving. It's changing. The Earth is rumbling. And we're seeing an uptick in tectonic shifts, magnetic shifts. We also have a lot of solar energies hitting the planet right now, which I've been covering extensively and covered a lot last week on my live stream, which is creating a lot of changes. And then we also have volcanoes erupting. So I'm like, what's going on? Suddenly the Earth is undergoing all of these changes, and the Earth is ascending just as we are. So this is part of the ascension process, but we are going into a massive transformation right now, where essentially this is paving the way for the new Earth to be born. The Earth grid is moving, it's changing, it's activating, and it's directly impacting our DNA. The Earth is shaking, it's trembling. Density is being released at a mass scale, like a pressure release, if you imagine like a pressure cooker. And the same thing is happening with us, where we're getting hit with these such high frequencies with 3i Atlas coming in, interacting with the sun, and then the solar energies that are coming in. We're also surrounded right now, and I'm getting a vision of this right now, so I'll do some live tune in as well. We are literally surrounded right now by galactic ships. This is a very important procedure that's happening right now, a very important catalyst, they're saying. So think of it as kind of like a pressure cooker where everything's coming out to the surface that cannot ascend. Same thing's happening with the planet. So there's been a lot of kind of like deep trauma in the planet, density in the planet. So the planet's kind of shaking and rumbling and is releasing that right now. It's being released at a mass scale. You may feel this in your physical body. It's also interacting with our light bodies, our DNA. You may be feeling physical symptoms, emotional symptoms, all sorts of symptoms from this. Next, I see the Earth zoomed out, and I heard gridlock. I'll get back to that in a moment. Then I see a bubble of white, light blue light around the planet. So this is being formed around the planet right now, this bubble. This is really, really fascinating what came through. They're highlighting that this is a delicate procedure. I am seeing dark portals around and within the grid being closed. And I actually just closed a massive one here in Sedona yesterday that was underground. So this is where a lot of dark entities have been getting in. I've also been getting messages about holes where strange beings from the multiverse, like little holes and tears in our universe where strange beings from the multiverse have been getting through and causing a little bit of havoc. But these things are being closed right now. Ley lines are beginning to clear and harmonize with a higher density shift. Then I see a Christmas tree. The holidays will be a special time of transformation. New Earth changes are beginning to unfold. Time bubbles are collapsing. And I asked, what are the time bubbles? To which they reply, artificial timelines. So these are these more negative timeline loops. I've done recently did a collab on my Patreon with Laura Eisenhower. She does a lot of really great coverage on this, where she talks about this artificial matrix grid and the artificial dark technology that the cabal and all of that, the dark ones, have been using to kind of keep us in these trauma loops, fear, anxiety, separation, hatred, chaos. And also these wounds, these unhealthy patterns. So those are rapidly beginning to clear out. But also these artificial timelines that they've been trying to create and messing with. And you also have CERN and all of that. Those things are beginning to collapse at a more rapid rate. December is clearing the way. For what, I ask? I see an eye, third eye, awakening. Third eye awakening. More coming online. Psychic senses increasing and activating. So you may find yourself being able to tap into your intuition more, see more through the veil, and let me know in the comments if you are starting to feel this coming online. You may feel pressure in your third eye. You may feel tingling sensations, maybe tingling on your crown chakra. You may just literally just start activating psychic abilities out of the blue. And this is also very much corroborated with or in correlation with 3i Atlas, third eye Atlas, which is helping to activate our dormant DNA. And our dormant DNA contains all of these gifts and abilities, lifetimes and lifetimes of wisdom that are beginning to come online. Okay, so what else comes with this awakening besides increased psychic senses, new gifts and abilities coming online, healing gifts and abilities? I was hearing the Soviet Union, and I'm seeing the eye again, seeing a vision of this eye. And in the eye, I saw the Twin Towers collapsing. And they said discrepancies in history, false history, more awakening to this. So it seems we are entering into another phase of disclosure about false histories and corruption. I see the military. I hear military tribunals. Also, military quietly taking out threats. White hat military. I see the White House. What else can you show me on the political climate? Activists. I see people gathering in the streets. Deep state cover-ups coming to the surface. More ET disclosure too. And last week, I shared, they were really highlighting more UFO and ET disclosure coming in. You know, we kind of go through these waves of galactic disclosure. You know, we're kind of waiting for the public to catch up to us. And there was that movie that documentary that just came out, the disclosure film, that's seeming to spark a new wave in disclosure, which is good for the public. And we're starting to see like Fox News is covering more of the UFO and deep state cover-ups, which is great. So we're starting to see more of this hit the media. And I believe more of this will start coming up. So it's like it's becoming the hot topic again, which is good. We want that. And with 3i Atlas coming closest to Earth, December 19th, which again, I'll be holding an activation on that day. I think we'll be getting a lot more disclosure around that. And also astrophotographers, astronomers are taking photographs of 3i Atlas, which NASA has been hiding. They've been trying to conceal evidence of what this really is. But they can't hide it for much longer. I said, okay, let's go back to the Earth. Harmonizing frequencies are hitting the Earth now. Then I see Swan and 3i Atlas. The pincer move. It is a convergence, they said. Now, a convergence is like, it's like a converging, like a melding. A pair of lines of longitude are parallel at the equator but converge toward the pole. So it's like converging, they're meeting. So this pincer move, 3i Atlas and Swan are kind of tuning and emitting these frequencies, and they're converging now with Earth in the center, in between them. I said, what does this mean? I see Atlas and Swan creating a time bubble around the planet. Now, this is really interesting, and this gets kind of quantum and hard to understand. So I see them creating this time bubble. And again, I saw like a light blue, white bubble being created around the planet. I'm hearing safe. So this is helping create a safe space encapsulating the planet. Dr. Salla recently interviewed somebody who, I didn't watch it, but I saw the headline. I believe it was posted on Thanksgiving, where he was talking about a light blue bubble or a sphere being put around the planet that's forcing all of the dark out, which is interesting because I'm getting I was seeing something similar happening right now in 3i Atlas and Swan helping to create that. But specifically, I see them creating a time bubble around the planet. And then I saw it creating a Dyson sphere around the planet. Now this gets very quantum. Dyson sphere. If you guys have seen the movie Contact, it's a really great film. They create the aliens from Vega, send them instructions to create a ship to be able to travel to them interdimensionally. And it's a Dyson sphere. And you also see the Dyson sphere like Ezekiel's wheel. There's a lot of lore about it, but essentially it's like a time travel machine. It's quantum. Now I'm trying to understand this from my perspective, from this dimensional plane. But it's creating a Dyson sphere around the planet, harmonizing frequencies, timeline dilation. And it's almost like it's like locking the planet into a safe space, helping it to harmonize and ascend up. Timeline dilation, as in the higher timeline, the positive timeline expanding, becoming more dominant, solidifying. The artificial ones collapsing. Then I saw the planet splitting into two, completely splitting into two. Almost like it was breaking in half. And that's not physically breaking in half, but this is the bifurcation process, the big timeline split, the ascending and descending timelines. So I actually I'm doing a deep dive on that right now because that whole thing has kind of confused me a little bit, but you hear a lot about this massive timeline bifurcation. And it's like there's a lot of lore about the end of the world. In some of the Native American prophecies, they say, humanity's going to come up with a choice. It's either going to be destruction in the end of the world or we're going to ascend. So this is what this is. The big split. So we're having all of these minor and sometimes, major timeline shifts and kind of back and forth as humanity is choosing. We're learning, we're growing. But then this is setting the stage, Three Eye Atlas and Swan, and what's occurring around the planet right now is preparing for the big split. So, like I said, I'm working on getting, I'd love to answer this question too. I'm working on getting very detailed information about what the big timeline split, what that means, how that works. I've got some great mind-blowing information so far, but I'm still working on it. So I'm probably going to post another video on that in the coming days. But it's really interesting because I want to know, what is the mechanics of that? What does that look like? How do we know which timeline we are on? So what I'm gathering, we're kind of shifting, we're kind of getting glimpses of both right now. They're existing at the same time before we get the big split. They're kind of it's kind of all melded together, and some people are on this one, some people are on that one. And we kind of dip a little bit back and forth. We're hearing echoes of both. That's why some people are all about the doomsday stuff, doom and gloom, and then other people see ascension. If you're doing your shadow work, what I'm gathering so far, if you're doing your healing work, if you're working your light, if you are on the awakening path, you're on the good timeline. So I don't think that's anything that we have to worry about. Okay, back to this. So I see this planet splitting into two, higher timeline, lower timeline split. And then they said precession of the equinox, fall of Atlantis. Now I'll get back to that. Time loop, they said. Breaking free of a negative time loop that we've been kind of caught in. And then again, this kind of goes into Laura Eisenhower's work, where she talks about how these artificial constructs have been keeping us in this kind of trauma loop over and over again. It's been so dense. So we're going to be breaking free of that. And this is setting the stage for that to occur. And I believe people can already tap into that now. We're doing a lot of very deep purging and clearing. The planet is itself. A lot of karmic clearing, healing, a lot of ancestral clearing, healing, past lifetime, inner child work. We're doing so much right now, but you can tap into that right here and right now. Some people might be living in that 99% of the time, living in the 5D. where the universe just flows and you see the positive, you see the light. But then we also have with the solar flares, there's deep things that are purging out of us. So it's kind of we've been kind of, you may experience ups and downs and dips, which is normal. So we're breaking free of a negative time loop. Why bring up Atlantis, I ask? That's when this negative loop inverted grid matrix was really put into place, like it was solidified, the fall of Atlantis. Literally like breaking free from a cage. What did you mean by gridlock? And they said, it is locked in harmonizing, stabilizing, preparing for the next phase of awakening, integrating, clearing, healing, ascending, repairing damage. So the grid has been, like some sites I'm seeing right now, sacred sites and all of that have been like shut off or damaged, inverted, used for the dark. So all of that's kind of clearing and being repaired right now. We've got a lot of grid workers working with the ley lines, all of that going on. So it's stabilizing with the influx of solar energies and the frequencies. The Schumann has been going pretty crazy. Right now, it's kind of, they're showing me that the grid's kind of locked into place as we harmonize and stabilize with the higher frequencies coming in. And then we'll be moving into the next phase, but we're like stabilizing and harmonizing right now, which I think that's why we are seeing an uptick in like volcanic eruptions and things like that. Things shifting, the planet shifting. So we are going through this phase and then we ascend up into the next phase. So integrating, clearing, healing, ascending. So the main point is it's locked until it's stabilized to higher frequency, I asked, and they replied yes. And time. Stabilizing to higher timeline. So it has to do with stabilizing to the higher frequency and stabilizing, solidifying the higher timeline. What else, I ask? From a volcano. So I saw a vision of a volcano, and then I see a flower blooming from it. Magnetic pull of the earth. It is shifting, they said. What does that mean, I ask? Time, balance, perception, dismantling of illusion, the earth grid going to correct, like it's correcting itself right now, like it was shifted off. So the fall of Atlantis really messed with the grid. It really messed with things. It dismantled and it kind of shoved us into this very lower, like dense plane and kind of kept us in this trap, if you want to call it that. And now the magnetic, what they're saying, the magnetic pull of the earth, it's shifting, it's correcting, which is leading the way for ascension and for things to be more harmonized, for the earth to flow, to correct itself. So what does this mean? Time, balance, perception. Our perception will be shifting with this. Enhanced perception, awareness, gnosis, dismantle illusion, earth grid going to correct, beneficial state of repair and efficiency of energy. So I feel that would also lead the way for like higher technologies to be coming online, utilizing more of the earth's just natural energy. The fall. Now we are going up, ascending. Now I want to go back to, they said, precession of the equinox. So, I've heard about this a lot, but I didn't really know much about it. But I had Thoth come to me years ago, and he told me that like this descending process and ascension process, he said it's a cycle. Now, so I looked up precession of the equinoxes. It refers to the slow circular wobble of Earth's axis that causes the position of the equinoxes to drift westward through the constellations over a cycle of about 26,000 years. This wobble is caused by the gravitational pull of the sun and moon on the Earth's equatorial bulge, a result of the Earth not being a perfect sphere. So I don't know much about astrology or know too much about that, but whenever I looked it up, it blew my mind because that's literally what they're talking about, the magnetics. So we were kind of shifted into this descension, and now we're working our way up through the ascension, and the earth is correcting itself. And it's on this 26,000 year cycle. Now, from my understanding, I forget where I put this, because I was asking, I'm like, so do we have to continuously go through this up and down cycle? Like this 26,000 year cycle, if that marks, so that would be like the fall of Atlantis and all of that, the fall, the descent into the lower dimensions, the loss of consciousness, destruction, forgetfulness, separation. I mean, what's the point of living if you're constantly like, if you're, is that what keeps happening? Like, you go up, down over again. You fall, civilization completely restarts, which is what happened after Atlantis. Everything was wiped out. Our history was erased. And then we ascend up, and then what? Then we fall back down. And whenever I was tuning to that, what I was getting is that's when you make a choice. You can choose through experience and what you learn and through growth. You can choose to ascend out of that cycle. So it's like Atlantis was kind of a fail from my understanding. Like that, the plug had to be pulled on that because it was getting out of control, and it very, very much damaged the planet. But now we're reaching a point, which I feel is very, very different, and we're on the up. Hopefully none of this sounds like scary because I feel very, very positive about what's happening and where we are right now. But from what I'm getting, it's literally a choice. So you don't have to keep repeating that cycle. You can ascend out of it. And I think that's where we're heading to. I just found that incredibly fascinating because I have no background in astrology. I didn't know anything about the precession of the equinox. So that's so interesting that this all has to do with like the magnetic pull of the earth, the energy, the grid, and this cycle, this 26,000 year cycle. Super fascinating. Okay, so I asked, is there anything else? I'm hearing DUMBs, which is deep underground military bases. Dark DUMBs being removed, infiltrated, taken out. Mass reveal, children. Elite trafficking rings being dismantled. And then I saw waves. So I see this happening in waves, which we got a really big surge in this when Sound of Freedom came out a few years back. Then that really put into the spotlight the issue of the trafficking problem. That was a huge push. And now it's coming in waves. So hopefully we get, from what it sounds like, we're going to be getting some more disclosures. Well, they said mass reveal on the trafficking and issues surrounding children. I don't have a timeline on that. Again, they're saying this will come in waves. But we are seeing more trafficking busts happening, and more people, I'm hearing more people are focusing on that and bringing attention to that, which is good, because that's the currency that the dark has been using and controlling. The currency is us, our energy, our attention, and our DNA. So we need to clear all that out. And they've been operating mostly underground. So even here in Sedona, I've been picking up on kind of like a battle occurring underground and even interdimensional too. Like I said, I recently just closed a very massive dark portal under the ground here. And I saw the inner earth beings appear just the other day, and they said, we'll help you close it. So there's kind of like a push and shove going on with that right now. But a lot of these underground facilities are being cleared out. It's an infestation on the planet that we're clearing out right now. So I see waves of what? Disclosures. And then I heard a clock ticking, tick, 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 tick. I see the continent of Mu, Lemuria, and Atlantis, but I saw Mu, Lemuria specifically. Memory, wisdom. So going back to the earth and the shift that's occurring in the earth right now. Memory. Our memories coming back online. Now, this might come as conscious memory. You might begin having past life memories, or you might just automatically begin to tap into that wisdom. Healing techniques that you didn't know that you knew, but you intuitively just remember and start doing them. Other sorts of information coming through as downloads or just like cellular memory. So this is working in coordination with our DNA because that holds a lot of this memory, but so does the planet is holding a lot of this memory as well. So Lemuria was a more feminine civilization. They were, advanced. They were tapped in. They knew the power of crystal technology, all of that. Atlantis was very advanced, but they were more masculine, and they got, greed got to them. In Lemuria, I believe it kind of infiltrated that a little bit too, and there was some back and forth with that. But the positive memory of how we were once advanced is starting to awaken within the grid and reawaken within us. Reactivating. Okay, so the memory, wisdom of Lemuria, Mu, I see it awakening and pulsing. Reactivating throughout the grid, the planetary grid network. So we're going to be experiencing a pulse of this, or pulses of this, starting to come back online. And I'm sure activate new starseeds and lightworkers. Quantum data and memory awakening and pulsing through the planet. A time of harmony, balance, advancements, wisdom, divinity, remembrance codes pulsing throughout the planet. Breathing remembrance through the planet. So if you kind of visualize the planet breathing, this pulse energy. Okay, then we go into some interesting information that I got about a black hole. And there was just recently, I just saw that this morning, scientists the James Webb Telescope just saw the black hole at the center of our galaxy erupt in a new wavelength, which I didn't know that whenever I got this information yesterday. I just saw that this morning. So that's really interesting. So I took a break for a second. And then whenever I came back to it, a being appears, I believe Andromedan. Yes, Andromedan. I have a very, very strong connection with the Andromedans. A being appears and begins sending me very high levels of energy and coded information. And it was such high levels that, so I'll close my eyes a lot and I receive visions, and my eyes were like doing like that because they were like almost like shaking, twittering. I don't know if that would be the right word for it. Twitching, kind of, because I was receiving such high voltage of energy and information coming in. They said, we're coding your aura with new earth frequencies. Treat this as a transmission, you guys. Usually before these live streams, they will code my aura with the information, and it is being transmitted to you and through my voice as well as my aura. If you've been following my channel for a bit, you know I have an additional third eye in my throat chakra, which is where a lot of this information comes through. We are coding your aura with new earth frequencies. I see a black hole, timekeepers, benevolent beings. These are very high level benevolent beings I'm seeing that are like these timekeepers. I find them very, very fascinating. I've been seeing them recently, and they seem Andromeda Galaxy, very, very high level, high dimensional, working with time and assisting the planet. This is all very much about time. I have a very strong connection with time and black holes. I ask, what's in a black hole? They replied, the past, present, and future. Data. All quantum information and time. exists within a black hole. Your DNA, quantum entanglement. You are literally breathing life into the future through your DNA. You are the receiver and the transmitter, they said. So from this, I'm seeing this black hole containing all of this quantum information, all of time, all of these potentials. And it's directly connected to our DNA. They said we are the receiver and the transmitter of this information, and we are literally creating the future. They said you are literally breathing life into the future through your DNA. So the starseeds and light workers here who come with this special, your unique special DNA in your energetic blueprint, your signature. We come from all different places in the galaxy, even outside of the galaxy, to assist with the awakening. And we all bring unique information to assist. And we are like these towers, essentially, receiving and transmitting these new earth codes through us. And I'm seeing it being connected to this black hole, which contains all of time, all quantum information. I asked, can I see inside the black hole? To which they replied, you are the black hole. It's tethered to your DNA. And they said the God particle. And the God particle, I didn't even know what that is, but I looked it up briefly, and it's what gives mass. It's what creates physical reality. So without the God particle, you wouldn't have the physicalness. The universe wouldn't be as it is. So it seemed like they are saying we are receiving this information, and through us, this reality is being created all around us. Pretty fascinating. So I asked more about the black hole because I'm super fascinated by them. I tried to view inside, and they said nothing exists in there. It is time itself. But it felt like nothing and everything exists in there at the same time. And I'm trying to understand this from my perspective. I'm not like a 7D or 12th dimensional being. There is an aspect of me that is a 12th dimensional being, but I'm trying to make sense of this from my perspective. But they said nothing exists in there. It is time itself, which is a really interesting response. But it feels like it's like nothing and everything at the same time. So when I tried to view inside, I just felt, first I saw the outside of it, and I was going towards it. Like it was like I was bilocating to the black hole with my consciousness. And then I suddenly felt like a big shaking as I'm getting closer to it. I was hearing this loud kind of like humming or like staticky sound as I'm getting close to it. Watch Interstellar because it depicts it literally. They do a very good job at depicting it. Highly recommend you watch Interstellar again if you have not seen it. And they show that in Interstellar too, it keeping time. But it's like there was nothing in it. But then these beings, these higher dimensional beings, helped create more of a 3D space for the main character to interact with time and help shift time to a higher timeline and help Earth ascend out of their issues. Really interesting. So they helped him they created this construct for him to interact with. But before, there was nothing in it. It was just peace. And as I went inside, I just felt immense peace. I said, so why does it suck everything up? Why does it seem so destructive? And they replied, it's not. It has such immense power, gravitational pull. This is simply a side effect. Like it's just harnessing. It has so much energy. It has so much information. It's so powerful that that's just kind of a side effect. Just like our sun, like it's not inherently bad. That's life. That's part of source. That's what gives us life. But it can be, a bit destructive because it's so powerful. But that's not its true nature. It's simply a side effect. Quantum computing. And then I saw the Milky Way. I feel the galaxy balancing and harmonizing. And so that was the end of that. That's what I got for you guys this week. I found that all incredibly fascinating. And again, I am seeing a lot of ships surrounding the planet right now. 3i Atlas and Swan creating this pincer move, creating this protective bubble and this time bubble around the planet, helping to stabilize and harmonize us. And I was also sensing like a strong military component, galactic military component around the solar system right now. Like literally we are surrounded by ships to assist with this process, to help clear out, stabilize, harmonizing with the ascension process. And while we are also being encoded with this quantum information and going through this massive transformation through the month of December and beyond. Find it super fascinating. And let me know what you guys think of this information. Please give this video a like also. A black hole is highest vibrational God source, I believe. They are creative. Yeah, I've always felt such a strong connection with black holes. Like I feel like I've really worked with it. I am Andromedan and in these very high dimensional Andromeda beings that I've been seeing kind of like working with time, the constructs of time, these timekeepers, and working with a black hole itself. I believe I probably am one. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of this information. And I also want to, again, I'm working on gathering a bunch of really fascinating information on the bifurcation process, the big timeline split that I saw coming and that we are preparing for right now. Also, I want to share with you guys, I'll share the screen. And if you want, you can put in maybe a couple questions in the chat here. The God particle. The God particle is thought into matter. That's interesting. Yeah, that makes sense. Like we're projecting, we're creating this reality. Like we are the creative God force. Cool. I'm going to share my screen real quick. Again, we've got 17% off until December 2nd. And I am super excited for this 3i Atlas Winter Solstice Activation event, December 19th. And if you can't make it live, which right now it's $33, you could use the 17% off code, then that makes it $20-something. If you can't make it live, the recording is available. So you can get that on my website. We're going to be working with the Lyrans, Andromedans, 3i Atlas itself, and other cosmic family to receive powerful messages, healing, and transformative upgrades during the winter solstice window, as well as when 3i Atlas is the closest to Earth. So I'm super excited about that. And then I have my 6-week Starseed Bootcamp mentorship coming up. This will have weekly training modules, weekly practice assignments, group meetings for Q&A and support, and unlimited, not on Telegram, I'll be using a different app, but unlimited messaging support with me. So I'm not doing any one-on-one sessions right now, but this would be the next best thing where you get me for 6 weeks, unlimited, to help you connect with your star family, give you ascension protocols to help you connect with your soul mission, to help you raise your frequency, make contact with your guides, your star family, your higher self, help you to become a clear channel and vessel. You also get access with this 6-week program to all of my other workshops and activations. So that is included as a bonus, which is like, excluding the DNA activation kits. So that's a lot. That's a lot of content right there, and activations and upgrades. So the start date will be essentially January 9th, first meeting January 13th. So this starts in January. Group meetings Tuesdays, recorded and shared after. And you can reserve your spot now. There is a payment plan available as well. So I'll probably just admit only about 10 people for this program. Will really, really help you. And it's good for the new year because, we're making New Year's resolutions. We want to get on top of our game. We want to upgrade, and you'll have unlimited support from me, as well as step-by-step guidelines for exactly what I did to make contact, and just ascension protocols, and connect with my star family, all of that. So you can sign up for that now and get 17% off all of my other workshops right now. So we've got the Ultimate DNA Activation Kit, 9 sessions, My Proven Process, Chakra Alignment, DNA Activation Workshop and Session, Psychic Development Class, Cord Cutting, Ancestral Healing, and Karma Clearing, as well as my Lyran Activation from October, if you want to get that. Okay, guys, I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Next week, I will probably be posting a meditation for you guys to help you meet a higher galactic aspect of yourself. Yes, all those links are in the video description. Please give this video a like, and I will see you guys next week for that meditation. I'll be posting the bifurcation timeline video, so turn notifications on. And I also have an upcoming webinar with Dr. Salla on where I'll be doing a full psychic forecast of 2026, and that is in the video description as well. I love you guys, and I will see you guys next time. I'm hearing like anchoring in the new earth right now. Like it's happening right now, you guys. It's coming in waves, but it's happening now. It's pretty incredible, the changes. Love you guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.